called him like every 3 or 4 hours. I can't get on the replay. Here's this too. Everybody here. Y'all was coming out there. Like this, you know what I mean? You get the coffee together, go around this little curve, and the bear sitting in the road eating out of McDonald's. Get out and run out from the me, I guarantee you. He got cars. Over horns. With the cars. I ain't getting out.
I don't know where it's at.
I got you.
I've got step 2. This is until every your partner does it. You go to step 3.
Oh my gosh, I have 2 hours.
I don't think I've done any of it.
I can feel like Scott and Glenn are very.
I didn't disagree with him. Like, this is way too fancy for us. Just because Raven's other life, she's wedding.
Yeah. We're gonna miss having flowers.
You okay?
No, she started it.
After hammer, let's go. Might run off the sidewalk and damage the tire. Maybe it's our fault to run off the damn signs.
Mason?
He damaged the tire.
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Go ahead and call the regular board meeting January 2023 to order. Let the record show that all the aldermen are present. Mr. King is going to lead us in the invocation, and Mr. Blackman will pledge, please.
We will bow our heads, please. Lord God in heaven above, we thank you for a good 2020. May 2023 be a successful and good year
of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved, Mac.
Motion by Mr. Cox.
Second.
By Mr. Oppenheimer. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Got a few, got a point proclamation and a few certificates to hand out. Come forward.
Never could figure out why we didn't have a softball team. Professional athlete here. This proclamation is commending Ronald Ducksworth for 29 years of service to the
the City of Ocean Springs for his continued success and his retirement from the City of Ocean Springs Public Works Department. Whereas the City of Ocean Springs is proud to recognize the men and women who focus on infrastructure and services that are vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the City of Ocean Springs. Whereas Ronald Duxworth joined the Ocean Springs Public Works Department in 1993 as a laborer, he has worked as an equipment operator and eventually became assistant supervisor for the street department. And whereas Ronald is a 1988 Biloxi High School graduate and attended William Carey College in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. In June 1991, he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates out of Bradenton, Florida, and played shortstop. And whereas Ronald is an active member of the American Public Works Association, he is married to his lovely wife, Maya. Whereas the City of Ocean Springs acknowledges Ronald Duckworth for his many years of outstanding service to the City of Ocean Springs Public Works Department and extends him the sincere best wishes for continued success in all of his future endeavors. Now, therefore, I, Kenny Holloway, Mayor of the City of Ocean Springs, do proudly present this proclamation on December 20th, 2022, in recognizing Ronald Duxworth for his loyal 29 years of service with the Ocean Springs Public Works Department. Okay, we've got some certificates of recognition. First one is Sean Lopes, 25 years of dedication, commitment, and loyalty to the City of Ocean Springs Fire Department, Fire Lieutenant. That'd be me.
Nope, it's kind of fun. It's still going to be fun. I'm an easy guy to get along with.
This is going to be a short meeting tonight, so we're not going to let Patty say many words.
It might not be.
Now you got her started.
This is a certificate of recognition of Patty Gaston for 20 years of dedication, commitment, and loyalty to the City of Ocean Springs Supervision and Finance Department, City Clerk.
Oh, no, they don't have to get up.
Congrats.
Next is Ms. Candace Hook. 15 years of dedication, commitment, and loyalty to the City of Ocean Springs Public Works Department, Assistant Director of Finance and Administration. And lastly, Michael Richard.
Michael here.
Here. I don't think he's here. Okay. Well, Michael has 15 years dedication, commitment, and loyalty to the City of Ocean Springs Public Works Department, Assistant Water Supervisor. Next item on the agenda is agenda public comment. If anyone has any comments on the agenda items on this agenda, you may step forward and address the board. 4 minutes per agenda item and a total of 30 minutes for this section of the agenda. Does anyone like to speak to any agenda item?
Aaron Guest, 139 Water's Edge. I am here to address item L on the consent agenda. I am one of the tree applicants. Daryl had come out to the property and made a recommendation based on the removal of actually 2 separate clusters of live oaks that are on the property that have caused some damage to an existing barn that's on the property that's been recently converted into living space or mother-in-law suite. At the time, although I had issues insuring it. I did not have the documentation from the insurance company. I do have that today from a multi-carrier insurer that will not provide coverage, cannot find a carrier to provide coverage on the structure until those trees are removed. The trees, in addition to having issues being over the structure themselves and causing threat to the structure because of wind, also create issues because of the way the root complexes sit above the ground and are pushing water towards the barn, which had created a lot of rot on the building. Additionally, the roots have already caused a foundation crack, which before the remodel was done on this barn, made insurance companies loath to want to insure something where there was existing damage that had already been created. I do have documentation, like I said, from a multi-carrier insurer stating that he cannot find a carrier to cover the structure. And I'm here for any other questions that may arise from that.
Mr. Aaron, I understand that obviously we've been by to look at it, and I have too. And there's two separate trees on this piece of property. And I'd like to address them separately.
Sure.
The trees close to the building and the structure, in my humble opinion, you could cut the limbs, and that would alleviate the problem. I don't know whether the insurance companies have covered from there. Have you approached them from that standpoint?
I have not. The insurance agent that I had been working with said that insurance companies have gotten a little bit stricter with what they're willing to insure, particularly in the Mississippi Gulf Coast right now. He said that the traditional distances from which the trees and the structure are oriented don't necessarily matter as much as they used to. He said an agent could come out there and look at it and say, I'm not going to insure this tree is X size and I see it as a threat. But I think one of the bigger issues was the crack in the foundation that one.
Give you a picture of that crack, any, I hate to use the word evidence, but is there any, if you got evidence that the tree,
you can actually see
the distance from the, I would say is approximately 20 feet from the house or mother-in-law cottage to your tree.
I believe that's the one cluster you're talking about. The other one.
I did not see the property, but I did see it from the fence.
Sure.
No one's home at the time, so I didn't. Anyway. Yeah, I think we could live with cutting some limbs off of that tree, and if the tree, if you can give us some evidence back, and the insurance company from another insurance carrier, that they will not insure that structure because of that tree, that tree clump. I'm looking at the tree clump, okay? Then I think we can kind of go forward with it. I'm not inclined to cut trees. I know the gentleman that planted those trees, and I think you're familiar with our community and the tree ordinances and the opinions we have of trees. But I would like to see some evidence, further evidence of the problem to support your position. And I think we can look at it in a different vein at that time. Now, the other tree, I will not vote in support of cutting a tree basically in the center of it.
We're gonna pull this item from the consent.
Okay.
And then we can do some more discussing on it. So, do you have any other statements you'd like to make at this time?
Yeah, and I just want to acknowledge that I am sympathetic to the reason why that process exists for tree removal in Ocean Springs, and I do intend to replant in different areas of the yard, but the problems it's created with the structure, and this has been a problem, since I purchased the property last February.
What is the reason for cutting these? I'll call it the second tree. I know I'm going.
Let's just go ahead and move forward, and then we'll pull it from the consent, and we can discuss it.
Yeah,
all right, we'll pull it from the consent agenda, and I would like to see the
Sure.
Unless you have something else to say, don't leave the room.
I will look through previous photos. That crack in the foundation was repaired before we tiled over the floor. You can see under the threshold of the entrance door where there is still evidence of where that crack came. But I'll certainly look through old photos and see if I can find any.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your consideration. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Does anyone else like to comment on any of the agenda items? Moving on to old business.
I'm going to recuse myself from this.
Okay, this is approved vacating Porter Avenue Street right of way adjacent to PID 60225.020.6000 and 60225.010.000. Carolyn?
Yeah, this is what I would refer to as a section of excess right-of-way. It would appear that throughout history, the alignment of Porter Avenue was changed. It used to go straight across until the railroad tracks were there. When they changed the alignment to curve, they did not change the northern boundary, so there's much more. There's this triangle of excess right-of-way that is not consistent with our requirements. Throughout the years, as other people have owned this property, it has been looked at. In fact, when we did our Porter Avenue sidewalk project, we realigned the sidewalk to be more consistent with the typical right-of-way in anticipation of one day that would probably be corrected. So Ricky is now has recused himself because he is one of the two adjacent property owners to this, and just in order for consistent design with new structures, the two property owners, the other being the dentist office, have requested that this right-of-way be considered to vacate. In order to do that, we'll make the finding that it's not necessary, that it's not needed, or will be developed by the city, which is the case because it is excess of what our requirements are. So the standard process, as I understand it, is if we make the determination that it is not necessary or needed and can be vacated, then it gets absorbed. Typically, there might be a parcel on either side. In this case, there's just the ones on the north since the roadway is there, and it would just get absorbed into those parcels. So that's what the request is. We recommend approval as it is not needed for any public improvements moving forward, and it would correct those properties to be more consistent with the adjacent areas.
And there's no utility running close to or?
No, the utilities are all in what the standard right-of-way would be.
Okay, so if there's ever any work needed done to that parcel in that area.
It should not conflict with any of that.
It should not be on us.
Correct. In fact, when they did some of the initial repairs for that project, they relocated a lot of, there's a gas line and some other water sewer lines that were relocated to be more in line.
And this is standard process.
It's standard process.
I asked for an opinion on
Right.
this because of Aldermen being involved.
Sure.
We've got the approval, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, on that issue, I had a lengthy conversation last week with Tom Hood, the Executive Director of the Mississippi Ethics Commission, and laid out everything about this, and he was okay with us going forward with this, of course, as long as Ricky excused himself from the meeting and was not here for any discussion, but from an ethical standpoint, legal standpoint, I don't have any issues with this.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve vacating Porter Avenue right of way adjacent to PIDN 60225.020.4000 and 60225.010.000.
Motion by Mr. Blackman.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pena. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Everyone abstains. Everyone grab Richard.
Make sure it shows that he recused himself.
The minutes will show that.
Okay.
Like,
Back in my office watching TV.
Figured y'all would argue about it.
He's watching.
Building's not that big.
Must be a good TV show now, Kevin's watching.
Can't believe the bill.
Where you at?
Okay, moving on to consent agenda. Does anybody have anything to pull from the consent agenda?
L.
Okay, item L. Anything else? Okay.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item L.
Motion by Mr. Ampe, second by Mr. Burgess. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to item L.
show L at the top of this project. No, it's.
It says in this, tree recommendation.
Tree recommendation.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Any further
I just wanted to
discussion?
continue the discussion.
Pardon?
I just wanted to continue the discussion.
Okay.
It's on there.
Daryl?
Do you have any recommendations other than what you have on, anything that he could do to, like root cut maybe, or?
Well, I actually, if I told the gentleman I talked with him today, I looked at the foundation, which he's laid new tile in there, so I couldn't see that part. And then, of course, the insurance, if he'd had that report, that would have helped on it also, which I think he says he has it now. The clump to the south, to me, it seemed like it was far enough away that I wouldn't think it would be an issue itself. That's why the one that to the north is the one I suggested, the large limb, because it is closer to over the top of the building. And I can see how it could have some water issues with the height of the property, but I don't know if the root cutting, if he done it, if that would possibly even make the tree weaker. I don't know. Like I say, I didn't really, was it me not seeing the foundation problem? I didn't think Bruce was the problem.
How old are these trees?
I just guess.
40 years old, roughly.
So should we just table this one and let Daryl look over the insurance paperwork and look into it a little bit further, or y'all want to?
I think that would be a good thing to do.
I'd be good with that. Yeah, I think that way, maybe Aaron, you could find some pictures of the foundation, like you said, and I guess my question was, the insurance company adamant about both, or just the one that's closest to destruction?
I didn't exactly get that far with it. The other one had caused issues, and it actually punctured the gas line for the main house. Why that gas line was roped all the way through the backyard and back into the house like that, I don't know. But that was discovered when we were running plumbing on as well. Like I said, it's been kind of an issue for a long time. I understand, and like I said, I'm sympathetic about why these types of applications are necessary, why the city wants this sort of process to go through. But this is something that I do have concerns about damaging property. These trees they are in the middle of a yard. They're not, it's not like they're reflecting shade on anybody else's property or detracting from anybody else's property in that capacity. And I kind of see it as a personal property issue at this point.
Let's table it and have some more research.
Sure, and I'd be happy to provide whatever, if anybody else wants to come to the property and look at any time, whether I'm home or not, I'd certainly welcome it.
I would suggest at this point to get back with Daryl with all that documentation
And then him vet it as far as what exactly the insurance company is saying they want done.
Sure.
I would think we could go ahead and accept item L, because this is not an appeal because we haven't approved anything. He would have the opportunity to appeal at the next meeting since we're approving it at this meeting. So that would give plenty of time for Daryl to do whatever he needs to do.
Would he have to write an appeal, a letter to appeal to the?
He can, you can send my office an email or just drop by a letter stating that you want to appeal my decision.
Okay.
As we discussed today, that would put you back on the next agenda.
Sure. I do have a letter from the insurance company with me tonight, if that's, if anybody wants to see that, or if it changes the process.
I would leave a copy.
Just leave a copy with Daryl. I don't think it changes the process.
Certainly.
Mr. would you break this into two trees, tree A and tree B, tree 1 and 2, however you want to do that? Because I still have heartburn on one of the trees that sits out in the middle of the yard of any necessity of even cutting. Now, I'm open-minded enough to understand where you're going with the tree next to or close to the mother-in-law cottage tree. So if you're so inclined, I will leave it up to you to bring your appeal forward on tree A and B, 1 or 2, whatever X, Y, if that's what you want to do. Okay.
I mean, it also is, to be quite frank, it's a cost issue when you come out and take one limb off as opposed to taking a tree down and.
No, I'm talking about the two clumps.
Sure.
The one
And
on the south part of the lot, and the one next to the mother.
yeah, and I do think it kind of extends to that as well, in a certain extent. That tree root complex is also sloping water towards the barn, and it's kind of created issues, more of that rotting issue on that front corner as well. Additionally, there is plumbing that's being ran from that stretch of the yard, where I believe that's eventually going to be a bigger problem than it already is. Like I said, it's kind of a cost issue to kind of mitigate that now as opposed to down the road. That's where
The issue is we have a lot of trees in the city
Sure.
that encroach on a lot of pipes.
Sure.
And if you cut down every tree that we had to project that might cause a problem for a pipe, we wouldn't have a tree left.
Right.
I live at 123 Water's Edge, and I have a live oak right over my sewer gas line. So does everybody else on the street.
Sure.
So if we did, as Mr. Alderman said, we'd have to cut every tree in Ocean Springs that invaded gas, water, sewer lines, water lines.
I'll speak with the insurance company and see which of those carriers would have issue with the proximity of that tree to the structure, if that is an issue. And I'm certainly willing to consider bisecting it into two separate applications, or removing one piece from the application.
Okay. All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept item L.
We got a motion by Mr. Ante.
Second.
Second by Mr. Altamont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Moving on to department reports. City clerk, approved docket claims.
Make a
Anyone
motion,
have anything to pull? Is there a motion?
make a motion to approve docket claims, all expenditures are appropriate and authorized by law, and spread summary on the minutes.
Motion by Mr. Altamont. Second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Does anyone have any questions on the monthly budget report? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the monthly budget.
Motion by Mr. Blackman,
Second.
second by Mr. Impey. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. General public comment. The public is invited to address the board up to 3 minutes. Each, for a maximum of 30 minutes. Only 2 persons will be allowed for each side of an issue. If you want to address the board on any city issue, please stand up at the podium and identify yourself before speaking. Jake.
Talked to Mason Lights today. They sent the invoice over. They're going to send it again to Patty. They would like to take them down on the 15th. I did explain to them that we still have a bucket truck that's still down. Alan?
Be back tomorrow.
Be back tomorrow. So we're ready to go. If y'all want to take them down, we can start the 15th and have them down and so we can store them.
Okay.
And then also, did you get the approval for the acceptance of the decorations for Christmas from Ms. Tivoli?
No, we do not. Did you get that, Mayor, for the decoration?
Oh, yeah, I've got it. That's
We just have to ask for
All right.
Raven's got it.
I went by and saw her today, and it is Ms. Tivoli, Judy. I'd like for us to pick them up tomorrow, Mayor, if we could.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Jake. Yeah, I think that's adequate time. Some people want to leave them up all year long. Obviously, we can't do that. I think it takes away from the wow effect of Christmas.
The bill that they sent me, does it include taking them down?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
no consideration of leaving them through Mardi Gras?
The concern I have with Mardi Gras is they're getting beat up pretty good right now, and I'm afraid they might really get beat up during Mardi Gras, especially during the parades.
I like the wow effect Christmas New Year's.
Yeah, and hopefully we can expand on that next year. We got a lot of positive response from people all over. So
I don't think those lights would hold up to the weather much longer.
Well, Kevin, he's the expert electrician on those trees right now. He's been out there repairing.
Every night there's 2 or 3 out.
Taking care of Ricky's duties. Anybody else want to address the board?
Phil Moore, real quick, I just wanted to address a couple library issues that I just wanted to thank the city for helping Yvonne with moving a temporary place over to the Mary C. It's really a grateful space. It's closed this month because of the floors they're redoing, but she will reopen again in February. And then I don't know if y'all have had a chance to look at what they're doing next door, but that building's going to be much, much better place for our library. And so thank you, every one of you guys, for helping. We're getting new AC. They're putting in ADA compliant bathrooms, just lots of good things for our library. So thank you.
Thank you, Don. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board? Okay. Mayor and Alderman Forum, Alderman Burgess.
Okay.
I just have one thing. Everybody saw the email about the school board appointment that's coming up February 28th, and I'd like to make a motion that we go out for advertising for the expiring school board member.
Okay, I got a motion by Mr. Osmond.
Second that.
Second by Mr. Impey. Mr. Panion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's it.
I'm good.
And Mayor, I guess I need to make a motion that we accept the Christmas decorations from Ms. Timberlake, so that we can allow Public Works or whoever it may be, Parks and Rec, to go help pick them up and store them.
Okay, got a motion by Mr. Cox. Second by Mr. Wade. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Anything else?
That's it.
Who seconded
Ken?
No, I didn't second.
No, do you have anything?
Oh, no.
Mr. Flagg?
Good, Mayor.
Mr. Impey?
I'm good.
Okay. The bus going to the legislative reception.
that? The motion on the Christmas decorations, is there a list of them anywhere?
The mayor and Raven is supposed to have that.
In case they need the inventory?
I don't know what y'all talking.
It's the automated Christmas decorations that have been south of Common Park in that subdivision for years.
Oh,
In the front yard. They're no longer gonna have those. Donate them to the city.
Okay, that's generous. I didn't realize that's who that was.
Where are we planning on storing that?
We'll have to deal with that.
Because that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but it's plywood, it should stack flat, so
Semi-truckload of plywood, still a semi-truckload of plywood.
it's small, so that one it's not life size.
Okay, Ray, what time is the bus leaving tomorrow?
1 o'clock, so meet here at 12:45.
Okay, and that's the bus going to the legislative reception in Jackson. We'll have a good showing up there. The session kicked off today, so we're expecting a lot of good things coming out of Jackson this year for a few reasons. But anyway, if anyone has anything else, I'll accept the motion to recess until Tuesday, January 17th.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pena. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Mr. Cox. Second by me.
Oh, what?
Is that exactly
A
30?
chandelier trip, that's the hearing of.
That's what he did.
Yeah, I gotta stop by there already.
Can I ask this? I didn't understand the question. The sidewalk that you're talking about is the east.
Yeah.
Didn't y'all move the sidewalk to your place?
We moved it out closer to the road. No, when we did the project.
Oh, because I was, is it